What if the secret to eating well as a busy mom wasn't a new diet, a meal plan you found on Pinterest, or another app you downloaded and literally never opened? What if it was just three things done consistently, adapted to wherever you are in life right now? Today, I'm sharing my 3 nutrition non-negotiables, the habits that I have kept through postpartum recovery, maternity leave, going back to work, building muscle, losing fat, and now as I'm trying for baby number 2. These are the habits that have never failed me, and they won't fail for you either. Let's get into it. Feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or like you've lost yourself in the postpartum chaos? Whether you're 4 weeks postpartum, 2 years in, or done having babies, you deserve to feel like yourself again. Hey mama, I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, postpartum fitness coach, and a mama who understands exactly what you're going through. Welcome to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast, where you'll find simple, science-backed strategies to heal your core, rebuild strength, and restore your energy without the overwhelm. If you're ready to go from depleted to strong, nourished, and unstoppable, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. I'm Val, your host, and I am so happy that you are here today with me. Whether you're on a walk with your babe, driving to work, folding laundry, or sneaking in just 5 minutes of quiet, I'm glad you carved out this time for yourself. This episode is a good one, and I think you're going to walk away with some really practical tools that you can start implementing today. Before we dive in, I have to read a quick review that came in just this week because it genuinely stopped me in my tracks. Anders wrote, I discovered this podcast while 4 months postpartum when taking daily walks with my baby. I wish I would have found it sooner. It has helped me really reframe my mindset around postpartum. Instead of focusing on bouncing back, I am taking it day by day, trying to incorporate positive and small habits. Val does an amazing job of combining science and research with practical advice related to nutrition, fitness, and wellness. I appreciate her holistic lens and inclusion of mental health, which is often an afterthought in other postpartum discussions. I've already recommended this podcast to many of my mom friends. Anders, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Daily walks with your baby, reframing your mindset away from bouncing back and recommending it to your mom friends. This is everything. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to really write that thoughtful and genuine review. This is exactly why I show up every single week. And if you haven't left a review yet, please do. It takes 2 minutes on Apple Podcasts, and it helps so many other moms find this show. I read every single one, and I will be able to share your review on the show. I want to make sure that you have my free protein-packed snack guide because today we're talking about nutrition non-negotiables, and protein is at the top of that list. And most moms are under-eating it by a lot. The guide tells you exactly how much you need, gives you the power snack formula, and has 6 recipes to make hitting your target actually doable and delicious. Head to wellnessbyval.com/protein snack guide or the link in the show notes, and I'll send it straight to you. Okay, let's get into today's episode. I'm going to start with my own story here because I think it's going to sound really familiar. When I had my daughter, I was one of the lucky ones because my mom and my mother-in-law both came to my house. They don't live far. We're all in the same city. And they came to help and clean and cook for me. Home cooked meals, real food, nourishment I didn't have to think about, which was everything, especially first few weeks after giving birth. And I am so grateful for that. I really am. And I would love if they would come back and make me more meals. No, just kidding. But I also knew that support doesn't last forever. And at some point, I was going to be on my own. And I needed a plan. So from the very beginning, I focused on having food ready, snacks on board, overnight oats prepped. Y'all know how much I love my overnight oats, protein and collagen in my breakfast, balanced meals throughout the day. It wasn't perfect. It's never perfect, but it was very intentional. And here's what I want you to hear. These 3 habits I'm going to be sharing with you today looked different at every single phase of my postpartum journey. So early postpartum, I was still recovering. Nourishment and healing were the priority, as I've discussed before on the show. Eating enough, eating real food, not skipping meals. And of course, hydration goes into that as well. When I was still on maternity leave, but feeling stronger and started to move more, I had more time and I got more intentional. So I added in more variety, more prepping, more structure. When I went back to work, quick, efficient, and practical. That was the name of the game. Leftovers became my best friend. Overnight oats saved me every single morning. I was really, really fortunate to be able to come back to work and work part-time in the office and part-time at home, which I'm super grateful for. When I was in the phase of actively building muscle, because after you have a baby, you're basically like everything is sucked out of you. You like lost your butt, you lost all your muscle, you're just recovering and rebuilding. And that's what's beautiful about, I think, after you have a baby, is that this process of rebuilding, it is possible and it's amazing. So when I was in that phase of really focusing on building strong muscle and losing fat, I had dialed in my protein even more. I got more intentional about my balance at every single meal. And now I'm trying for baby number 2. These 3 non-negotiables are still my foundation. They haven't changed. The application has, but the foundation, it's the same. That's the beauty of non-negotiables. They're not rigid. They're a foundation you can always come back to, no matter what phase of life you are in. So these 3 non-negotiables are going to work for me in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, and so on. Now, before we dive into the tactical stuff, this is something I want you to really understand. Sustainable nutrition is not about being perfect. It's not about following a meal plan so strict that one missed meal sends you into a spiral. It's about having a foundation, just like we talked about last week with exercise. 3 things you can always come back to no matter how chaotic life gets. And girlfriend, life is going to get chaotic, okay? It already is chaotic. These 3 habits are going to work when you have all the time in the world, and they're going to work when you have literally no time at all. That's how I know they're the right 3, okay? So let's go. Let's talk about it. Non-negotiable number 1, protein and fiber rich breakfast. Boom. Protein and fiber rich breakfast. Let's start with it, okay? Because breakfast sets the tone for your entire day, and I mean that literally. Physiologically, mentally, emotionally. We need a good balanced breakfast because we are busy as hell. When you start your day with protein and fiber, you stabilize your blood sugar right out of the gate. You reduce cravings later in the day. You support your energy and your mood. And you set yourself up to actually hit your protein targets by the end of the day. Like, how many times has it been the end of the day, it's dinner time, and you're like, holy shit, like did I even have protein today? Like, what's going on? So if you start behind, you're going to stay behind and you're having to play catch up. And that's not fun. As a postpartum and a busy mom, your body is doing a lot. It's doing all of the things. It needs real fuel first thing in the morning, not just coffee, not just a granola bar, actual fuel. My personal non-negotiable, overnight oats, especially on the days that I go into the office. When I work from home, I have more time. So that's when I can actually make eggs and a full breakfast. I have been making overnight oats for years, and they have genuinely saved me through every phase of my postpartum life. Here's what I do. I prep the dry ingredients ahead of time. So I get like 8 mason jars. I put all the oats in. I put all the collagen, the nuts, the seeds, the cinnamon, the protein powder. What else do I put in there? Oh, I put mushroom cocoa powder, which I love. And I just put all the dry ingredients in there. I put the lid on and I put it in the fridge. Okay, boom. It can literally live there for months. Then the night before I actually need to eat it, right? I will get 1 mason jar. I add my liquid. I like soy milk. I add my fresh fruit. I stir it really well. I put it back in the fridge. So in the morning, it takes me 2 minutes. Grab it and put it in my little lunchbox, which really isn't a lunchbox. It's a Lululemon bag, okay? But I need to know this. Please message me on Instagram if you use a Lululemon bag as your lunchbox. I need to know if there are other moms out there doing the same thing that I am. So this is nice because especially on days like Tuesdays, I go into the office. I have to be there at 7, but I go and work out at a local gym before I head into the office. So I'm leaving the house around 5 a.m., 5:10. So I want to be able to just grab all my shit and I want to be able to go to the gym, do my workout, get to work, change, and eat my overnight oats. It's so easy. Thursdays, I have to be in the office at 6 a.m. So I teach a group fitness class that day, so I don't go to the gym before, plus that's way too early. So when I get into work, I settle in, I grab my overnight oats, and I enjoy it. So this is going to have real food. So it's going to have fiber from all of the plant foods. It's pretty fiber rich. It's also going to have protein because I add in whey protein powder. I also add in collagen. So we need to talk about this. And I think I've talked about it before on the show, and I don't want you to miss this. Collagen is awesome if you have the right collagen. There's different types of collagen. So don't just go out and buy your supplements willy-nilly on Amazon, okay? Don't do it. Talk to me first or head to my Full Script account. It's in my show notes if you want to check it out. But make sure that when you are adding in collagen, you understand, one, it's the right type because there are different types. And two, collagen is not a complete protein. So we are adding in protein at our breakfast to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, meaning let's hold onto our muscle and or let's build some muscle. Collagen is great. We need it for recovery, for tendons, for joints, for muscle, for skin, for everything, okay? And it's great to add in because it's super easy, but it's not contributing to my muscle protein synthesis because it's not a complete protein. It doesn't have the leucine amount that we need. So that's why I'm adding in whey protein powder, a brand that I absolutely love. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know what I'm talking about. And I add this in and it mixes really well, okay? So this overnight oat concoction has my collagen, it has my protein powder, it has fiber from all of the oats and the real foods that I added in. It travels well. It keeps me full. It requires almost no thought. That's the goal. Now, a couple months ago, I started logging my food because I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm starting to gain weight. I don't feel comfortable. And there's a lot that goes into that I'm planning to talk about in a future episode. But I logged to see, okay, based on my current movement and everything that I'm doing and trying for baby number 2, where am I at with my nutrition? It's a really good tool to kind of just check in and assess. And I was getting way too much of my overnight oats. So I changed a little bit. So instead of having almonds, ground flaxseed, ground chia seed, I just choose 2 of those and I kind of decrease the amount a little bit. So my calories are still within a really good range. It's like 550 calorie overnight oats with 40 grams of protein, but it's no longer 700 calories, right? Like that adds up. So we do want to be mindful of amounts and where we are and what we need. If you're newly postpartum, we need those calories. We need them all. If you're in a phase where you can start to build muscle, lose fat, we're not going to restrict by any means, but we do want to fine tune things. And this is always going to change. So if I decide to train for another high rocks, I'm probably going to add things back into my oats to increase that calorie content. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Let's focus. So overnight oats aren't for everyone. So here are some other options that hit that protein and fiber target. Greek yogurt parfait with berries and granola. Yum, quick feeling. You can grab it. You can go. Scrambled eggs with veggies and avocado toast. This is a classic. It's balanced. It doesn't take long. A protein smoothie. You have frozen fruit, spinach, protein powder, nut or seed butter, your milk of choice. Blend it and go. A bowl of cottage cheese with fruit and hemp seeds. It's high protein, it's easy, it's surprisingly good. You can also make little egg bites with cottage cheese to make them a little bit more fluffy. And so all of these options are great. The key is aim for 30 to 40 grams of protein at breakfast and at least 5 grams of fiber. Depending on your meal, you may be able to sneak in about 10 grams. 1 cup of raspberries has 10 grams of fiber. Okay, so that's amazing. Add that in when you can and then build the rest of your day from there. Non-negotiable number 2, balance at every single meal. And I want to be really clear about what I mean by balance because this is not about perfection. It is not about counting every single gram and being crazy about it, right? So I just talked about tracking as a tool to create awareness. And also, what can I add? Do I need more fiber? Do I need a specific nutrient? It's not always about restriction. And if we are looking at the log saying, you know what, I'm probably getting a little bit too much at this meal, that doesn't mean severely cut it down to where you're now like starving and under eating. So this is something that I work with my clients. A balanced meal has 4 components: protein, healthy fat, fiber-rich carbohydrate, and veggies. Really kind of depends on the meal, right? That's it. That's the framework. So protein keeps you full, supports muscle repair, it stabilizes blood sugar. Healthy fats are going to support your hormones and your brain health, and they make food taste delicious. Fiber-rich carbs give you that sustained energy, so you don't have like this spike in glucose and then all of a sudden a crash. And then of course, vegetables and other plant foods are going to give you vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, things that your body actually needs to function. When you have all 4 at a meal, even your little snacks, right? The proportions are just different. Your energy is going to be more stable. Your hunger is going to be more manageable. Your mood is more consistent. Your body is better nourished. So it's not a diet. It's a way of eating. It's structure. And the beautiful thing about this framework is that it's flexible. You're not following this rigid list of foods. What can I eat? What can I eat? You're asking one question every time you eat. Do I have the protein? Do I have the fat, the fiber, the carbs on this plate? And if yes, great. If not, what's missing? How can I add it? When we are exercising, especially depending on the type, the duration, the intensity, we kind of have to get a little bit more strategic because you're not going to want to have avocado toast and then go do a workout. Like that doesn't sound fun because digestion is going to slow down. So that's, again, something I talk about one-on-one with my clients. Now, this applies everywhere you go, at home, at a restaurant, at a birthday party, at a work lunch. You can always find a version of balance if you're looking for it. I created a free 3-day balanced meal plan that shows you exactly what this looks like across 3 real days of eating. So that's going to be in the show notes if you want to check it out. Non-negotiable number 3, meal planning and prepping. I know you don't want to hear it. I know, but we gotta, okay? This one is the one that makes the other 2 actually happen, right? Like non-negotiable 1 and 2, cool, awesome, beautiful. If we don't have non-negotiable number 3, meal planning and prepping, it's not really going to happen, okay? So here's the truth. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. The end. Boom, period. That's it. I know that sounds a little harsh, but I mean it. More time now is less time later. And as a busy mom, you don't got no time, okay? The number one thing that tanks nutrition as a busy mom is getting to 4 p.m. with no idea what the hell you're going to have for dinner with no food in the house. That sounds horrific. Now, I want to be really clear. I'm not talking about this, again, rigidity. I'm talking about something that will work for you. Okay, so I'm not talking about this rigid diet, a color-coded meal plan where every meal is decided and prepped perfectly on a Sunday, chicken, broccoli, rice, chicken, broccoli, rice. No, thank you. I'm talking about having enough of a plan that you're not caught off guard. Here's how I approach it. At the start of each week, I ask myself a few questions. Maybe this is on Sunday before the week actually starts. What do we have in the house? What needs to be used up before it goes bad? What sounds good this week? What am I craving? What do I want? What are the events that we have to attend? It's summertime at the time of recording this. There are a lot of events that are going on. You're camping, you're going to birthday parties, you're going on vacays. What's happening? And I'm thinking in my head, okay, are we going to Lake Havasu? Is there a birthday party? Does my daughter have swim? When is swim? Okay, what are we going to eat that day? So the last one is a big one for us. So my daughter has swim Wednesday nights. It's at 6 p.m. So Wednesday dinner needs to be quick, ready, early, on the table by 5 so that we can digest and actually swim, right? So that's important. By the time we get home, it's almost 7. If I haven't planned for Wednesday, we're scrambling. It's a shit show, okay? And if I have planned, we're fine and it's beautiful. That's what planning does. It takes the decision making out of those hard moments. Now, when it comes to prepping, I try not to do everything on Sunday. I split it up throughout the week when I can. Last week, I roasted a big batch of sweet potatoes and carrots on Sunday, and I was able to do other things while they were roasting. Those went into my breakfast, my lunches. My daughter loves them with her dinner. I prepped my overnight dry oats. I had to stock up. So mornings were literally effortless this week. And every night when I cook dinner, I really make sure that I have enough so that I have food for lunch the next day for my husband and myself. 1 cook, 2 meals, that is it. A few tools that have been absolute game changers for me: grocery pickup. I don't do it every single week, but when we're coming back from a trip or it's a crazy weekend, having groceries delivered when we get home is a lifesaver. I don't have to think about it. It's not one more thing I have to do. And going to the grocery store on a Sunday with a toddler in this heat, no thank you. Pre-chopped veggies is another one. It's worth every penny on a busy week. The time you save is worth the extra cost. Rotisserie chicken, keep one in the fridge and you will always have a protein source ready. What I recommend is when you get the rotisserie chicken, this is the part that sucks. When you get the rotisserie chicken, shred it right away. Shred it right away, take it off the bones. If you want to use the bones and for something else, you can totally do that. But make sure that you take it off the bones and you shred it right away and put it in a container, because once it cools off and it's in the fridge, it's going to be a biatch to actually tear that apart. It's not going to be fun. It's going to get all in your nails and you're going to blame me for it. And I don't want that. Okay. So make sure if you get a rotisserie chicken, let it cool off for a little bit. Don't let it get cold or put it in the fridge. Shred it up, put that in a container, and then that's easy that you can just grab it and eat it. Easy backup options: deli meat for a quick sandwich, something you can air fry in 10 minutes, a can of chickpeas if you can rinse that and throw that on anything. The goal of prepping is not to have these 10 perfectly portioned containers in your fridge. You've probably seen that on Instagram where people are doing this and it looks beautiful and cool, but we probably don't have the room for that. We don't have the time. That also, like, what if we get sick of eating that, you know? The goal is not to be starting from 0 at 4 p.m. when everyone is hungry and exhausted. That's it. That's the whole goal, okay? So let's recap everything we talked about, and then you can start to implement some of these. The 3 nutrition non-negotiables that have carried me through every phase of postpartum life and will carry to you too. Number 1, protein and fiber-rich breakfast. Number 2, balance at every single meal. Number 3, meal planning and prepping. More time now is less time later. Your 1 action item this week, we're just focusing on 1. Look at these 3 and identify which one is your biggest gap. Which one is your biggest gap? Not all 3, just 1, and focus there this week. Small and sustainable beats overwhelming and perfect every single time, okay? Now, I have to mention this before we head off. I am so excited about it. If you want the movement side handled for you while you work on nailing these 3 nutrition habits, something big is coming in July. The Core Comeback Challenge, 4 weeks, 3 sessions a week, about 20 minutes each, full body workouts built around your core. Head to wellnessbyval.com/core to join the waitlist. Waitlist members get early bird access at $67 for 48 hours before it opens up to everyone else at $97. I cannot wait for you to do this with me. I'm super excited. It's going to be so much fun. Now, before I let you go, if you want to make sure you're nailing down that first non-negotiable, protein, go grab my free protein-packed snack guide. It's going to tell you exactly how much protein you need as a busy mom. It gives you my power snack formula, and it has 6 recipes that make hitting your protein target actually doable, even on those hard days, okay? Head to wellnessbyval.com/protein snack guide or head to the link in the show notes. It's completely free. Thank you so much for being here today, Mama. I can't wait to see you next week. Stay strong and stay nourished. Hey Mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If you got something out of it or simply enjoyed listening, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom who could use the support? And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in. It truly means the world to me, and it helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to go chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.